You've heard of acres of land being seized in Tamil Nadu, in Uttar Pradesh, in Gujarat, and now in Karnataka too. A Waqf alleged land grab scandal has sparked a huge showdown. Reports indicate that land records, revenue records, were altered overnight. And we're talking about acres of land that belong to farmers in Karnataka's Vijayapura. These farmers now don't know where to go. They don't know who to seek help from because they say with no intimation, the revenue records have been changed overnight. And they're alleging that it was done at the behest of the state government. The Congress now firefighting this crisis has put the blame on a local official while also claiming that it's been blown out of proportion by the BJP. What exactly happened in Karnataka's Vijayapura? Is this a manufactured controversy? Or are farmers really suffering because the Waqf Board has now claimed all of their hard-earned land? Let's tell you more in our report first.
Shocking expose in Karnataka Waqf land grab case. It has now come to light that land records were changed overnight to give ownership to Waqf Board, while Karnataka farmers who own the land were kept in the dark. The Siddaramaiah government blames the local tehsildar for fraudulently inserting Waqf name after a meeting that was held with Minister Zameer Ahmed. State government says as many as 44 land pockets were given to Waqf in 21 days.
Without notice, Indi Tahsildaru, without notice, on 41 properties, without notice, Indikana Madina. Yaru, Indi Tahsildar. Adana iga, Somoto, AC Uradana, Tagit Kontidare, Adana, rectification Madleke, notice Koto, Adamale, rectification Madko.
Earlier, residents of Honwada village received a notice from the tehsildar to file their objection to acres of land being reassigned to the Waqf Board.
तमिल नाडु हो गया, आज कर्नाटक आ गए, ऐसा कि हम लोग कहाँ जाएंगे ना? कोर्ट में भी पास नहीं, कोर्ट में गए तो इसका लिए अलग कानून है, इसके लिए अलग कोर्ट है, वहाँ पे जाके आप अपील करो। हम लोग करीब 70-80 करोड़ लोग हैं, हम लोग कहाँ जाना चाहिए? और उसमें स्पेशली किसानों को किसान के पेट पे लात मार के वक़्फ़ में क्या करेंगे?
The farmers met BJP MP Tejaswi Surya and sought his help over the issue. The opposition BJP went all guns blazing against the Congress-led Karnataka government and accused them of minority appeasement. The BJP MP lashed out at Siddaramaiah-led Karnataka government and asked the Congress if they were turning Karnataka into Pakistan.
The notice has been issued because the Waqf Board felt that it is their land, and upon that notification, a Congress minister demanded the authorities to register, and within 15 days, without offering any opportunity to be heard, without issuance of notice, without any principles of natural justice being followed, hundreds of acres of land is being registered in the name of the Waqf Board. What does Mr. Zameer Ahmed and the Congress party want to do in Karnataka? Do they want to make Karnataka into Pakistan?
I have already told that the Waqf Act amendment is brought only for this purpose. And majority of the poor Muslims are also suffering because of the present provisions in the Waqf Act. That's why whatever has happened in Vijayapura, it cannot be accepted. It is happening in many parts of the country, many parts of the Karnataka. Almost all of them in the Vijayapura, farmers have received the notice, which cannot be accepted. Zameer Ahmed Khan is not bothered about the farmers, he is bothered about his votes.
Congress party, however, refuted all allegations by Tejaswi Surya and asked people not to fall prey to BJP's politics.
वो लोग जानबूझ के एलिगेशन कर रहे हैं। अगर उनको फार्मर्स के बारे में अगर उनको ध्यान होता, फार्मर्स को ये लोग अन्याय कर रहे हैं बोले तो वो मीटिंग में आना चाहिए था, मीटिंग में आके आवाज उठाना चाहिए था। अभी 3 दिन के बाद आके 3 दिन के बाद आके बोले ये कोसा है ये।
The central government introduced Waqf Amendment Bill in the last session of the Parliament. The bill aimed to curb powers given to the Waqf Board. The bill was later referred to the Standing Committee and now will be tabled once again in the winter session of the Parliament. With Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
So the Siddaramaiah government, now in firefighting mode, has held a detailed press conference where they've accused the BJP of creating this conspiracy, saying very clearly that the BJP is trying to spread all of this Waqf issues ahead of the Maharashtra and Jharkhand elections. But having said that, the Siddaramaiah government has also pinned the blame on the local Tehsildar, saying he's the one who's authorized these revenue records to be changed. They've also maintained that the Siddaramaiah government won't grab farmers' land. There's a big question mark here on exactly what's happened. Zameer Ahmed on one hand says that, look, Waqf is reclaiming their properties because a lot of their properties aren't with them. And on the other hand says that, no, this hasn't happened. Then why is action being taken against the local Tehsildar? Let's play out for you what the government reaction is.
उन्होंने तहसीलदार को नोटिस सर्व कराया। अभी जो भी है, अभी हमने ये वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है, उसको प्रोसीजर के हिसाब से क्या होता है, नोटिस सर्व करना पड़ता है। ये बगैर नोटिस सर्व करने प्रेशर कुछ नहीं है, पहले हुआ, अभी नहीं, आज नहीं हुआ।
सर बीजेपी का कहना है आप 6 तारीख को आप गए थे उधर और 9 तारीख को ये आरटीसी में म्यूटेशन हुआ। बीजेपी का क्या बीजेपी कहता है 6 तारीख को आप गए उधर,
वो सब प्रॉपर्टी के लिए
विजयपुरा में 45 डेज डेडलाइन दिया।
प्रोसीजर के हिसाब से नोटिस सर्व करके करना था, अभी उसने नोटिस सर्व करके नहीं किया, उसके ऊपर एक्शन लेने के लिए कहा है। अभी एमपी पाटिल ने क्लियर कर दिया है।
बीजेपी कहता है आप प्रेशराइज कर रहे हैं।
उसको पूछो, वो मेरे को पूछेंगे मैं ऑफिसर्स के ऊपर एक्शन लिया जाएगा सर, लिया जाएगा करके बोल दिया ना।
So that's the clarification that's come in from Zameer Ahmed. Remember that Zameer Ahmed, who's the minorities minister, has been accused of actually chairing a meeting just 2 days before these farmers spoke out about their land records being changed. The allegation is that Zameer Ahmed in that meeting communicated that whatever Waqf property is present, it must be brought back to the Waqf Board. So in a sense, the farmers believe that it was Zameer Ahmed who authorized this particular move to take place in Karnataka's Vijayapura. The BJP claims that 1,500 acres of land has been claimed now by the Waqf Board. We'll get you a ground report in just a few moments from now from Vijayapura to tell you exactly what the truth is. But I want to focus now on what the government is saying and bring in Sagai Raj on this broadcast. He's joining us live from Bengaluru. Sagai, you were there at that press conference. What is the government's version here? On one hand, they're saying that, look, the local Tehsildar is to blame. On the other, they're saying that this is a manufactured controversy.
Absolutely, they claim that it is a manufactured controversy between Yatna and Vijay from BJP, and that is the reason they are trying to raise up the issue. And talking about the entire controversy, MP Patil went on to say that the mistake was done only in Indi Taluk, where there was where the land was being abutted by the local Tehsildar, which are very while the protocol. Yes.
Okay. Apologies, we'll reconnect with Sagai. We're having a bit of a problem there with his audio line. But Sagai getting us all of the details of what the government's version is here, where in fact the minister has maintained that yes, the local Tehsildar is to blame, but also says that none of this is true, that the BJP has created this entire issue. All right, and joining me here on 6 p.m. Prime now is Congress MLA Rizwana Arshad. Mr. Arshad, thank you for joining us on India Today. The allegation right now against the Siddaramaiah government, against the Congress, is that this land was taken away from farmers and taken away from them by the Waqf Board at the behest of the state government. That the state government was in the know-how and agreed, gave its nod for the Waqf Board to do this.
I fail to understand what has happened. The BJP here, as usual, has spread misinformation and misguided the people. There is no notices issued to any farmers. There is no proposal to, claim any lands belonging to any farmers. Why is this misinformation being spread? And kind of environment being created by the BJP, which wants to tilt the public opinion favoring some amendment which is being brought to the parliament on Waqf bill. So it's completely false. Where is this all started? I don't understand.
Okay, Mr. Arshad, you're saying this is completely false. We've spoken to the farmers. They are saying the revenue records have been changed and now the name of the Waqf Board is mentioned. If this is completely false, why has Mr. M.B. Patil spoken out on it and said that, look, the Tehsildar is to blame?
It is a BJP manufactured controversy. No records have been changed. It cannot be changed overnight without hearing the respective parties. And in that particular case where the BJP is claiming that injustice has been done to farmers, that case the WAQF has no claim. WAQF has claim only to the 11 acres of land, and which is there, right? And WAQF is an institution which has let go thousands of acres of land in various land reform acts. In the same Vijayapura district, WAQF used to hold 14,000 acres of land, 14,500 acres of land. In various land reform acts, 12,500 acres of land was given to farmers. And WAQF very graciously accepted that, right? And at the same time, BJP here is trying to create a situation where they want to benefit in the by-elections to be held in Karnataka. So this is a false narrative, this is a false information.
Okay, I've asked you a question, Mr. Arshad, so I'll break it into two parts. First, if this is completely false, why is the government cracking the whip? Why are they saying that, look, the local Tehsildar is to blame, we will now go ahead and act against this, we've spoken to the Assistant Commissioner? Why is all that happening if it's not true?
See, to be honest, local Tahsildar, if he acts which is not according to the law, then there are various other forums to appeal. See, the Tahsildar also cannot overnight change any record. He needs to give notices to the respective parties. There has to be a hearing done. The documents needs to be scrutinized. If there are real owners of the land, nobody can displace them or nobody can, deprive them of their rightful ownership. So there is nothing for anybody to worry and nothing for BJP to play politics here, because law is quite effective in safeguarding interest of all the people concerned. So I don't think so the BJP should unnecessarily create...
Okay. No, so let's keep away what the BJP's allegations are here for a moment, Mr. Arshad. I'll just talk about what the farmers are saying. And if you look at that, the farmers are saying that they weren't informed, they weren't intimated. That's why they've raised this issue. They are saying that the revenue records were literally changed to overnight. So you're saying it's false, but this is what the farmers are maintaining, that they're troubled, their land has been taken away, Mr. Arshad.
No. I don't agree with that. There is no land which has been taken. There is nothing, no process itself initiated. And if there is a process, due notices will be served, they will be heard, their documents will be scrutinized, and without giving a proper hearing, without scrutinizing the documents, it is illegal and illegitimate to overnight change any record. And nothing will be done of that sort. That is, I am very clear. Our government will ensure that rule of law prevails and everybody gets their fair chance, everybody gets their due rights, and nobody will be deprived of their rights.
No, so then, according to the Karnataka government, Mr. Arshad, whose land is it? Is it Waqf property or is it the farmer's land that the Waqf is claiming now? Which is it?
I will tell you one thing. Out of the 14,500 acres, 12,500 acres have been given to farmers through various land reform acts. And Waqf has also has graciously given it to the farmers, because through land reform acts it has gone. So there has to be 2,100 acres remaining land in the name of Waqf, right? So already 700 to 800 acres of land is already with the Waqf. And what I'm surprised is, where particularly BJP raises the concern, there is no Waqf claim. The Waqf land, there is only 11 acres. So I don't know why BJP is trying to create a claim where there is no claim.
Okay.
Right? So BJP is trying to mislead. BJP is trying to misinform the farmers.
So,
they are trying
okay.
to create a panic situation amongst them.
You're saying, Mr. Arshad, that farmers are being misled. The reality is that when this allegedly happened, the farmers first met with Mr. MP Patil, who is the district in charge minister, and only after that did they meet Tejaswi Surya. So can they really be misled by the BJP here? They met first with the Siddaramaiah government minister.
No. There is some miscommunication. Those people who are trying to create this issue is, I think, instigated by the BJP. And whatever happens, whether BJP takes it as a political propaganda or whatever happens, our government will ensure that those people who are rightful owners will never be deprived of their ownership. Whatever happens will happen with a due course of law. So there are set procedures and set due course which has to take place and to establish the ownership. All this due course will be followed. So nobody will be deprived of their land in any which way. This much I can assure you.
You're saying nobody will be deprived of their land. Now, Zameer Ahmed, who's held a press conference now, Mr. Arshad, the allegation is that Zameer Ahmed had a meet. He held a meet and spoke about the Waqf Board properties, said that whatever's the Waqf Board's properties, we must get that back. And 2 days after that particular meeting is when this incident in Karnataka's Vijayapura has come to light. The allegation is that it is on the directives of Zameer Ahmed that today you're seeing this entire issue of the revenue records being changed, of farmers saying that their land has been taken away by the Waqf Board, that the Waqf Board essentially is emboldened because Zameer Ahmed gave the nod for them to do this.
See, Mr. Zameer Ahmed is the Minister for Minority and Waqf, and it is his duty to protect the Waqf land. Waqf is also like a semi-government institution. It is not belonging to any individual. Right?
What about farmers?
So it is his responsibility to safeguard, and it is his responsibility to protect the Waqf land. Whatever steps he takes to protect cannot be termed illegal, but at the same time, if a rightful owner cannot be deprived of his land. Right? Because somebody has a claim. Even if there is a Waqf land, there are enough notifications, enough records which will prove that whether it's a Waqf land or not. So nobody needs to panic. If somebody is an encroacher, will definitely face a heat. If there is no encroachment and there is no dispute on somebody's land, they should not worry. BJP is trying to create unnecessary panic among the people. Which is not right.
Okay, you're saying there's no need for farmers to be scared. My final question to you, sir, is that there's this entire controversy, discourse on, the Waqf Act, and of course it's with the JPC right now. What's your view? Can you give an assurance, Mr. Rizwan Ashraf, as someone who's a part of this government, that farmers won't lose out on what's rightfully theirs? Because they're worried, saying that, look, as per the current law, it's not illegal for the Waqfs to take over their land, and they have no way to actually ensure that, they can go somewhere and address their concerns. There's no redressal measure legally as well for them. So can you give them an assurance?
See, I'll tell you one thing. If the Waqf establishes their ownership, that establishment also has a process. Fine. And if the people who are holding the land are very sure that it is their land, they can also come forward. They will also be given a chance to come and establish their ownership. So it will not happen overnight, and it cannot be done arbitrarily. Right? Revenue records are very serious records. It is with the government. Whatever the parties contend, the government has the records to establish and understand who is the rightful owner and who is not the rightful owner. So we don't have to panic. And Vijayapura has lakhs of acres of land, and a situation is being created by BJP as if everybody will be affected by it, where already 12,500 acres of land has been let gone by the Waqf Board for the benefit of the people. So it's not as sensitive issue as BJP would try to make in an election time. Nobody would be deprived of their rightful ownership. This is the commitment of our government. Everybody will be heard, documents will be scrutinized, and whatever decision has to be taken, it will be very transparent, and everybody who is affected by it can appeal in the higher courts, higher platforms. And having said that, this particular case, Mr. M.B. Patil has very clearly said, it is only 11 acres of land which is concerned. BJP is trying to blow it out of proportion and create issues which makes out to outside to look like it's
saying that the dispute is actually over 11 acres, and you're assuring that there will be any steps that need to be taken for farmers will be provided to them as well, including legal recourse. We'll see if that actually happens. Mr. Rizwan Ashraf, thank you for joining us. You've heard from the Congress here where they've said clearly that this is an issue that's been blown out of proportion by the BJP. Is that really the case? Is this nothing but, a lot of manufactured politics and not really the case on ground? We've travelled to Karnataka's Vijayapura to find out exactly that, to find out what's happened to these farmers. How did this happen that overnight revenue records have changed? How many farmers have been affected? Take a look at this ground report.
I'm Deepthi Rao from India Today, and I am at Karnataka's Vijayapura district. With me is Lakkappa Hatti, who is the owner of this land. But the Waqf Board claims that this land belongs to them. You might remember what happened in Tamil Nadu's Tiruchendurai, where the Waqf Board swallowed an entire village, including a 1,500-year-old Hindu temple. Now the people of Karnataka's Vijayapura district are facing a similar crisis. Conflict centers around 1,200 acres of land in Honwad village of Tikota Taluk in Vijayapura, where the Waqf Board has designated land as falling under the Shah Aminuddin Dargah. But the farmers claim that there is no such dargah in sight anywhere near this place.
Karnataka's Vijayapura is in the heart of the Waqf controversy. Around 41 farmers got a jolt out of the blue as the local Tehsildar told them that their land is no longer theirs.
केरला में हुआ, तेलंगाना हुआ, इधर हुआ, आज कर्नाटक में आ गया। ऐसा ही पूरा भारत पूरा हो गया तो हम लोग कहाँ जाएंगे? हम लोग करीब 70-80 करोड़ लोग हैं हम लोग कहाँ जाना चाहिए? और उसमें स्पेशली किसानों को किसान के पेट पे लात मार के वक़्फ़ में क्या करेंगे?
The Deputy Commissioner was unavailable for comments, but in a press release he clarified there had been no transfer of private land to the Waqf Board and assured farmers of their rights over the properties.
Reports suggest that the Tehsildar sent notices to the farmers after Waqf Minister Zameer Ahmed held a meeting with Waqf Board members in Vijayapura to discuss alleged encroachment on Waqf properties. Farmers as well as politicians alleged that this whole issue began after Waqf Minister held a meeting with these officials. Confused about the status of land ownership has left many farmers who have been cultivating these lands for generations outraged. They visited the office of the DC every day to seek clarity and staged protest against the Waqf Board's claim.
There is a clear shock and anger over how brazenly the land has been snatched away by the Waqf Board.
This is very horrible thing going in Vijayapura. It is a land terror. Directly I am saying it is a land terror. It is a land jihad on Hindus by Waqf Tribunal. Zameer Ahmed Khan, he is also supporting the Waqf Tribunal and telling all our officers in DC office and Revenue Department make this land within 45 days as a Waqf land property.
Waqf Board in Karnataka is claiming that almost all the land in Karnataka that we will take in under the Waqf Act. Before 5 years in my Uttara, there is no mention of the Waqf Board. And suddenly the Pani has been issued claiming that it is a Waqf Board property. How it is possible?
The Waqf Board meanwhile has claimed that they are claiming only what has been rightfully theirs.
हम लोग अब तक एक नोटिस भी नहीं इशू किए हैं। वो जो क्या गलती की वजह से माल बागायत का जो होनवाड़ का साहब जो बोले उसकी वजह से कल ही वो उसका फाइनल कर दिए।
The situation has intensified as farmers express their determination to fight for their rights, fearing loss of their livelihood.
Waqf Board's claims over Honwad village in Vijayapura has left many farmers confused. And Honwad is just one of the many villages in Karnataka's Vijayapura district that the Waqf is claiming as their own. On talking to the farmers, one can easily sense the fear of loss of livelihood. This is Deepthi Rao for India Today.
Okay, let me bring in Deepthi Narayan Rao, who filed that report for us from Vijayapura. Deepthi, good evening. You've spoken to farmers firsthand. So take us through what really the allegation is here, Deepthi. There are two versions. Look, the BJP says 1,500 acres of land has been claimed by the Waqf. The Congress says that's not the case. It's only 11 acres. What are the farmers saying?
Akshita, you know, this is not only one or two villages we are talking about. These cases are primarily from two taluks. One is Tikota Taluk and one is Indi Taluk. Now, farmers in Honwad village in Tikota Taluk have been claiming that around 1,500 acres of their land is being claimed by the Waqf Board. They showed us proofs of notices sent by the Tehsildars. You know, after this news spread, there was panic among farmers, and only after that did Congress minister, who's also the district in charge of Vijayapura, MP Patil, he issued a statement saying that only 11 acres of this 1,200 area of the disputed land belongs to the Waqf Board. Now, out of this 11 acres also falls a 10-acre burial ground. Now, this is a Hindu burial ground. So farmers have been asking if they can't even die in peace, that they cannot be laid to rest after their death in peace. This is still a point of contention, these 11 acres. And, you know, the difference between 11 and 1,200 is not minimal. It's a huge mistake. And, you know, when I spoke to Waqf Minister about it, he said that it's nothing to worry about and it's now been rectified. But is it really nothing to worry about? Because farmers were left confused about the status of land ownership.
Sure.
They went outside the DC office. They've protested for weeks now, asking, you know, seeking clarity and justice. Now, the other issue is from the Indi Taluk, where reports suggest that in 44 properties overnight, Waqf Board claimed their rights. Now, MP Patil has confirmed that this is a mistake made by the Tehsildar. But we still don't know if, you know, the name will be rectified and rechanged to, you know, the farmer's name. He has said that the action will be taken against the Tehsildars, but the, you know, status of land ownership is still unclear.
So from what Deepthi is telling us, there are two issues here. And the government is saying that we're sorting it out, we're ironing it out. In one case, they say everything is taken care of. The other, they've promised action against the local Tehsildar. And that's where things stand right now. Deepthi has gone to the ground and she's told us firsthand what farmers have told her. She's seen those documents. And this is the current situation. Many of the farmers are left in the lurch, not knowing what will happen next to all of the land that they use to earn a livelihood every single day. Deepthi, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for filing that ground report for us. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering, how is this possible? That if these farmers have documents to prove this is their land, how is it that revenue records can be changed overnight? How is it that the Waqf Board can suddenly swoop in and say, hey, this is my land? I explained to you now exactly what the Waqf Board's powers are currently as they stand. So let's explain to you what exactly is Waqf first. Waqf is defined as a property that's given in the name of God for religious and charitable purposes. Here's the exact definition. Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person of any property for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious or charitable. Now, the proceeds are typically used to go ahead and finance educational institutions. It's also used to finance graveyards. And of course, importantly, mosques as well, and finally also for shelter homes. This is what, in fact, the money is used for. Now, here's an important point that you must note. As per Sharia law, land that's once given to the Waqf, it cannot be reversed. Notably, also, their holdings have actually surged in the last few years, doubled since 2009. Let's explain to you now the history of the Waqf Act. This act first came into being, was first passed by Parliament way back in 1954. Subsequently, there were changes made. It was actually repealed, and then a new Waqf Act was passed in 1995 that gave more powers to the Waqf boards. And then again, a few years later, in 2013, there were changes made. This act was further amended to actually give far-reaching powers to the Waqf board to designate the property as Waqf property. Let's now tell you all about the functions of the Waqf Board. Currently, and here's how it works, it's not just one Waqf Board, it's every state has a Waqf Board, and that's headed by a chairperson. 1 or 2 nominees from the state government are there. Muslim MLAs, Muslim MPs, Muslim members of the State Bar Council, Islamic scholars, all of them are part of these boards. And these boards have powers under the law to administer property, to take measures for the recovery of lost properties, and actually go ahead and sanction the transfer of immovable property. The Waqf Board has also been granted unrestrained power under the law to register properties. So how many Waqf properties are there in the country? Currently, these Waqf boards have over 8,70,000 immovable properties, 16,173 movable properties, and over 3 lakh estates, 3,56,031 estates to be exact, in more than 8 lakh acres of land. Let's tell you now about the Modi government's proposed amendments to this act. We'll break it down point by point. First, the draft legislation is likely to propose the restructuring of Waqf boards. The amendments aim to enhance inclusivity, and this is an important one. It will ensure women representation on all Waqf boards. Secondly, the government plans to make it mandatory for the Waqf Board to actually register its property in the district collector's office so that all of the property can be evaluated. Third, all claims made by the Waqf Board on properties will now undergo mandatory verification as well if these amendments are passed. And remember, a JPC will decide on whether these amendments will become a reality or not. Can Ilaya Thalapathy Vijay, superstar, turn into super neta in Tamil Nadu? He has just about 2 years to do it. So let's break down for you from his rally yesterday what exactly has emerged as a strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. Starting off with his strength, of course, he has a massive fan base, evident in his rally, which had 3 lakh people in attendance. What also is favourable for him is that largely his fan base is among youngsters who are in their 20s or 30s. So that also largely helps him. He's known to have a clean image and has always steered away from controversy. Weaknesses, the first one that obviously comes to mind is that he has zero experience in politics, has never even taken a political stand before this on issues. There's no clear political ideology, and I'll explain to you why I say that in a bit, despite his rally yesterday. There's also not enough time before the 2026 election, so he has to get done with his groundwork, his campaign, his strategy, everything immediately. Opportunity is there for Thalapathy Vijay. He can make the most of a political void and eat into the AIADMK vote base, which just hasn't been able to perform the way they used to after Jayalalitha's demise. So that's opportunity there for Vijay to do well. Lakhs of youth have signed up for the Tamaraga Vetri Karagam, which is the political outfit of Thalapathy Vijay. We're talking about 10 lakh youth who've already signed up for the membership. It can also, Vijay has an opportunity here to form a powerful alliance to take on DMK. And the reason we say that is because he's expressed yesterday in his rally that he's open to an alliance. Then, of course, Tamil Nadu's track record of their love for superstars who've entered politics, who've been successful as well. Vijay can learn from those. It serves as an opportunity for him to do well. What are the threats for Vijay? He has to take on the might of Dravidian parties, and it's no small feat, no easy task with the kind of resources they have, the popularity, and for how long they've ruled Tamil Nadu politics. He has to also solely rely on his own resources. We're talking about money, popularity. He's the one single face for the party, so he'll have to spread himself out wide and far. Recent film stars who entered politics weren't very successful. Think Kamal Hassan as well, legend, and yet didn't do very, very well. So this is essentially the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat for Thalapathy Vijay. Let's get down to the big messaging that came in from Vijay's rally yesterday, particularly on what his ideology is. Is he leaning towards Dravidian parties? Is he leaning towards the BJP sense of politicking? Let's tell you more in our next report on exactly where Vijay stands.
A superstar entry into politics. Ilaya Thalapathy Vijay has now a new avatar as the president of the Tamil Vetri Karagam, or as it translates, the victory of the Tamil people. As Vijay took to stage to address a massive crowd of nearly 7 lakh people, everyone had just one question. What is Vijay's political ideology? Vijay started off his speech by addressing the elephant in the room, his lack of experience in politics.
அப்ப அந்த குழந்தைக்கு பாம்பை கண்டா பயம் இல்லையான்னு ஒரு கேள்வியும் வரும். பாச உணர்வே என்னன்னு சொல்ல தெரியாது அந்த குழந்தைக்கு பயம்னா மட்டும் எப்படிங்க சொல்ல தெரியும்? இங்க அந்த பாம்பு தான் அரசியல். அத கையில புடிச்சு விளையாட ஆரம்பிக்கிறது தான் உங்க
With massive cutouts of Periyar, Kamarajar and more on stage, Vijay struck an important balance and clarified on whether he has the same beliefs as Dravidian parties.
பெரியார் எங்க கொள்கை தலைவர், எப்படி ஏன்? பெரியார் சொன்ன கடவுள் மறுப்பு கொள்கையை மட்டும் நாங்க கையில் எடுக்க போறதே இல்லை. எங்களுக்கு அதில் உடன்பாடும் இல்லை. யாரோட கடவுள் நம்பிக்கைக்கும் நாங்க எதிரானவங்க இல்ல. அரசியல் அண்ணன் தம்பி உறவை அறிமுகப்படுத்தின அறிஞர் அண்ணா சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒன்றே குலம் ஒருவனே தேவன்றதுதான் எங்க நிலைப்பாடும்.
While not taking any names, Vijay did make it quite clear he was anti-DMK and anti-BJP. The indication rather seems to be he's taken a bit of both.
திராவிடமும் தமிழ் தேசியமும் இந்த மண்ணோட இரண்டு கண்கள் என்பதுதான் நம்மளுடைய தாழ்மையான கருத்தும். அதனால நாம எந்த ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட அடையாளத்துக்குள்ளேயும் நம்மளை சுருக்கிக்காம தமிழ்நாட்டு உரிமைகளை சார்ந்த இந்த மண்ணுக்கான மதச்சார்பற்ற சமூக நீதி கொள்கைகள், அதாவது செக்யூலர் சோஷியல் ஜஸ்டிஸ் ஐடியாலஜிஸ்.
Thalapathy Vijay is clearly platforming himself as an alternative to both DMK and BJP. It's a big gamble for him, as he pointed out too when he concluded his speech.
தேர்தல் அரசியல்ல ஜெயிச்சவங்க தோத்தவங்க அத்தனை பேர் பாடத்தையும் படிச்சுட்டு பல பேரோட உந்துதலை ஊக்கமாய் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு என்னோட கெரியரின் உச்சத்தை என்னோட கெரியரின் உச்சத்தை உதறிட்டு அந்த ஊதியத்தை உதறிட்டு உங்க விஜயா உங்களை மட்டுமே நம்பி வந்திருக்கேன்.
So will the gamble pay off? Vijay's speech has created quite a flutter, but there's still a lot more clarity needed on exactly what kind of politics the superstar Neta espouses. Bureau Report, India Today.
So what you saw from Vijay there was a very massy speech. He also clearly spoke from his heart on why he's entered politics. A lot of comparisons right now to power star Pawan Kalyan and how successful Pawan Kalyan has been in politics in Andhra Pradesh. There's a lot of chatter on it on social media. So we thought we'd decode also what Ilayya Thalapathy Vijay can actually learn from Pawan Kalyan to be as successful as Pawan Kalyan has been, to transition from a superstar to a super neta. First, Pawan Kalyan successfully converted his fan base into a voter base. For Vijay too, it's very much possible, because if you look at the fan base here, it's a young fan base that Pawan Kalyan enjoys. It's a young fan base that Vijay also enjoys. You can use that to your best advantage, and Vijay can learn how to do that from Pawan Kalyan. Create a smart alliance to take on political powerhouse. Pawan Kalyan got the TDP, the BJP together, essentially ensured that there was an agreement to take on YSRCP. Vijay has already made it very clear he's open to alliances. And that's why he can perhaps learn from Pawan Kalyan to hold on to another strong regional party and together fight it out in Tamil Nadu to take on a powerhouse like the DMK. Have a strong political ideology. Now, while there's been a lot of comparisons between Vijay and Pawan Kalyan, clearly what Pawan Kalyan espouses is very difficult for Vijay to actually put into motion in Tamil Nadu, because Pawan Kalyan speaks of Sanatana Dharma, speaks about that kind of politics which hasn't worked in Tamil Nadu. So while he can't really follow what Pawan Kalyan has done, he will need to ensure that similarly he has a strong political ideology. Use superstardom to create a power-packed campaign. What Pawan Kalyan did was kind of bring his superstar image into his campaigns as well. So you had a superstar out there to meet fans. He had all of these massy campaigns with punch dialogues. He had the Varahi campaign where he'd go out in this massive vehicle. Vijay will be looking to do that as well to ensure that the energy that he brings as a superstar always remains alive. Now, in Tamil Nadu, of course, stars turning to politics isn't something that's new, and there are many who've tasted success. There were legendary ones, of course, like Dr. MGR and Jayalalitha. Will Ilayya Thalapathy Vijay be able to crack that formula? Let's take a look back in time in Tamil Nadu's tryst with stars turning into successful politicians.
Anna of Tamil politics, M.G. Ramachandran was a congressman before he joined Annadurai's DMK. He was a superstar of Tamil films. Using his popularity, he built a political kingdom that spanned decades. 3 years after Annadurai's death, MGR left DMK and formed his own party, AIA-DMK, and came to power in Tamil Nadu within 5 years of its inception. MGR became the chief minister. He was the first film star to assume the role in India in the year 1977. Except for a 4-month hiatus in 1980, when his government was thrown by the centre, he remained the chief minister till his death in 1987. Leading the AIA-DMK to 2 more electoral wins in 1980 and 1984. Jayalalitha was a disciple of MGR. She was a superstar of the Tamil films before she followed her mentor to the political arena and joined his party, the AIA-DMK. Her rise was rapid. Multilingual Jaya soon became AIA-DMK's propaganda secretary and was elected to the Rajya Sabha. But at the time of MGR's death, there was a war that broke out in the party line over the inheritance of his political legacy, and Jayalalitha firmly stood her ground despite being shoved and heckled as she proclaimed herself to be his successor. In 1989, she became the leader of the opposition in the Tamil Nadu Assembly with her bet-in-or Karunanidhi as the chief minister. In 1991, she became the chief minister, defeating Karunanidhi's DMK party. In the next 5 years, she continued to consolidate her power, even though she was criticized for her lavish way of living. In the next assembly elections, Jayalalitha lost her seat and AIA-DMK was wiped out in the hustlings in 1996. After coming back to power, Karunanidhi rigorously pursued corruption charges against Jayalalitha and she was thrown in prison. But in the 1998 general elections, she re-emerged as the kingmaker in Atal Bihari Vajpayee-led coalition government as her withdrawal of support toppled the government within a year of coming to power. Jayalalitha by then was a seasoned politician and she led her party back to victory in the state of Tamil Nadu in 2001, even though she herself was barred from contesting elections because of corruption charges. Those were the heydays of political drama in Tamil Nadu. Jayalalitha took oath only to hand over her reign to OPS. 6 months later, after her acquittal, she retrieved her power and completed her term only to face defeat in the next assembly election. Jayalalitha once again became the leader of opposition and stormed back to power in 2011. She then became the Amma of Tamil politics. But 3 years into her 4th term, she was convicted in a disproportionate assets case and was disqualified from her office, only to return in 2015 after her acquittal. The following year, she swept the assembly elections to become the 2nd chief minister in Tamil Nadu after her mentor MGR to have won successive vote mandate to retain power. But it was short-lived as Jayalalitha fell sick at the end of 2016 and after 2.5 months of being in hospital, she died, leaving a vacuum that AIA-DMK still hasn't been able to fill.
So Tamil Nadu has seen many stars turned netas become super hits, but they've also seen many stars turned netas become complete flops. Which way will Thalapathy Vijay go? He has, of course, the 2026 test ahead of him, so he set the mission very clearly, very ambitiously too. We'll have to wait and see if the people of Tamil Nadu now accept his new avatar as a politician. That's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. Thanks very much for tuning in.